yet a decision is not yet given to them.
Right.
So the officers in the correction offices would keep on demanding for the money. For the new one, we have interlinked it to the objections module.
Okay.
We are also going to interlink it to the court applications. So once the taxpayer goes to court or TAT or even applies for alternative dispute resolution, we always set aside that liability from the running tax liability, so that we don't enforce on tax which is already in dispute. Still, with this new ledger, we have also still interlinked it with the all module.
Okay.
Though this is still under development, our goal is, if you've signed an MOU, you've sat with you and agreed, I'm going to pay you in installment. No one should come and disturb your peace.
Yes. Yes.
So this new ledger has really come with many features. Most have been waiver.
Yes. Yes. That's the big question. I'm sure you're tuned in because
Exactly. So with this new ledger, the waiver is embedded in there and is clear.
Okay.
Still, with this new, we have made the features so clear that the taxpayer will be in charge of their payments. They will be able to say, what am I clear now? Where is this liability coming from? It is that simplified.
Very transparent. As well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you hinted on the waiver, and this is like the big elephant in the room.
Everyone has been waiting for.
Everyone has been waiting for it, and this is our first webinar on this topic. So we're going to start from the basics. Give us the detail of this. What does Section 40D say? Yeah.
40D states that for any taxpayer, as at 30th June 2023, any outstanding penalties and interest will be waived when the taxpayer pays the principal.
Okay.
Subsection 2, if you pay in halves, because not every taxpayer has the money at once, so subsection 2 caters for those who are going to paying in installments. As long as you pay up your principal by 31st December, we'll keep on waiving in halves. If you pay half, we also waive the outstanding interest and penalty in halves.
What you give is what you get.
Exactly. So every taxpayer, as long as you're willing to pay your principal, you will benefit.
Okay.
The debt, that's what should be marked by our taxpayers. The end date is 31st December 2023. So for all those who want to benefit, they should run and make the payment.
Okay. And where do they run to make these payments?
And how do they know my outstanding?
Yes. Because now everyone is thinking 31st December is next month. I need to get going, make this happen before the window closes. So what are the next steps?
Exactly. How will our taxpayers know the outstanding principal tax? Because before we rolled out this new ledger, everyone was crying out for, what is my outstanding principal tax? I want to pay, I want to benefit. But we did not have something in place to break down the outstanding principal and interest. What we had before was one solid figure. But this new ledger,
it's all amalgamated, everything.
Exactly. But this new ledger has broken it down for our taxpayers. How do they access it? I'm going to do a small illustration for our taxpayers so that whoever is interested in benefiting from this waiver, one, they know how to access the outstanding balances. I'm going to draw a small illustration here.
Back to the first.
I'm going to log in as a taxpayer so that I walk them through the journey of knowing the outstanding principal tax. Okay, if you're a taxpayer outside there and you want to benefit from 40D, this is what you have to do. Log in your account, like the one I've logged in into mine. Go to the payment screen under e-services. We have an option of generate payment screen. When you click there, it's the normal payment screen you've been having. However, we have added a few ingredients there. Select the payment type, which is domestic taxes. This waiver is only and only for domestic taxes. So when you get to the payment screen, kindly select domestic taxes. Since you will be inside your TIN account, your details will be displayed. Come to the section of period. We have two sections there. We have the period after July 2021 and the period before July 2021. Why the two periods? Down. If you try to click on January 2022, cost is within the scope of the waiver. If you click to pay full, we'll get a message there telling you amount should not exceed the principal amount for this period. And this is because we have the waiver in P. So you click OK, and the amount that you will have to pay is only and only the principal tax, and will waive your interest. Where you have only, you don't have the full amount, you can still come and type in how much you're willing to pay. We want all our taxpayers to benefit. So you have a choice to come and look at the breakdown. Even where you have outstanding penalty, still will only and only waive, will only and only make you pay the outstanding principal tax. And kind note that this will only and only caters for periods whose due dates are prior to 30th June 2023.
Okay.
Meaning June 2023 up to date, they are not within the waiver scope. Like if you look at my display, January 2020 within the scope of the waiver. If I try to pay in full, the entire amount will be accepted. It's not like the way you saw the January 2020. Yes, we encourage our taxpayers to show up because we have staff there already who are going to represent the ledger reconciliation team. They are well trained. They will be able to guide our taxpayers and serve them.
Okay.
Yes.
So, dear taxpayers, wave is for you to take advantage of. Don't miss out, fall behind. Come and make the most of it. Reach out to us, whether you can call our toll-free line, especially we are all over the internet. So always feel free to send in your questions, and we're happy to support you. Want you to make the most of this, and make sure you meet your tax obligations. And I mean, who wouldn't want to take advantage of this waiver? So coming from Stevia Asimi saying, when I fetch my VAT, a huge balance outstanding. To my knowledge, I have always paid on time. How can I be helped? This is Sevia Asimire from YouTube.
Now, once you get any breakdown on the payment screen and the liability is so huge, what do you do? One, we have our ledgers which break down.
Okay.
So the best I advise you, kindly go and access your ledger. And how do you access your ledger?
You just showed us.
Let me walk through. That is what I showed you is how to get to know your outstanding principal tax.
Okay.
But how do you access your ledger?
Okay. a screenshot.
Still within your under reports, you go and click statement. When you click on the tax statement, under view, select the option of tax position, submit. Now, most of our taxpayers, the reason as why they have a huge running balance, yet they have been making payments, some of them were selecting the wrong periods. So you find some period has an overpayment and the other has an outstanding. So what we are going to encourage our taxpayers to do, if you have any unutilized credit, maybe because you select the wrong period when you're making a payment, you will have to first allocate that credit to the correct period.
Okay.
And you can do that through the functional credit stroke balance transfer. The credits get utilized because some of the tax position, like the one I've displayed, if you look at my income tax, I have a huge liability and then unutilized credit. When I utilize this credit, this liability will go down. It will even wipe away some interest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it will reduce so much from what you're seeing. So what I can encourage our sister, if she has any unutilized credit, I think in a day or two, we are going to avail our functionality of utilizing those credits, which you will use to utilize those credits so that your liability can reduce. Let me drill down to the second level to see the details of what comprises of this liability. You just click on a given tax type to get the details. Now, when given tax type, you will get the details of each and every tax liability. Because in this new ledger, we have the standalone, we have the assessment, we have the penalty, we have the interest. Each and everything is broken down independently. In case you have a liability on period, you'll be able to tell whether the cost liability is an assessment or penalty, which you weren't able to tell in the old ledger. So I request each and every taxpayer to go down to the tax statements and look out for the cause of your liability. If it is an assessment that is in dispute, I encourage you to object to it. Or any other foreign transaction that you feel is not you whom kindly, you can reach out to us and we review so that whatever outstanding tax you have, you get to know the source. If it is not correct, then we have a chance to correct that liability.
Okay. Sylvia, I'm sure you've got your response. It has been very elaborate from Kristen's side. The questions are coming in heavy, Kristen. So there is Dennis Dekamanya. This is Dennis Q3 Holdings. I've just logged on. Could you kindly run us through the this
to file or an additional. So for payments, we have one after then is company, because we are making sure that this new one captures each and everything. You may find the position he had before was the wrong one, or when he had a missing transaction. So what we have to do is to walk through his tax statement and we check what is causing that.
Okay. There you go. So there is asking, saying, and I'm still seeing an assessment from URA. Why?
Okay.
So well, David was sorry that went through that. Okay.
What I can advise David to do, one, when you come and get a tin from URA, normally ask business are into. That's the deal. God forbid if you go through what David is going through and your business collapses, you have to come back to us and you let us know so that we can switch off your tin.
Yes.
Because if we don't switch it on, we'll assume you're still outside there operating. So I'll advise David to visit any of our nearest offices to him and domestic taxes. Yes, domestic taxes, so that he can be helped and guided on how to handle that, so that we can switch off that tin.
Okay. And it is a conversation really with your we guide, and it's a conversation. Paul Orion is saying thank you for this webinar. So there's flowers and thank yous coming in for you, Christine. Okay. Nabakoza Agnes saying, okay, thanks for the update. Be blessed. That's all feedback coming in from LinkedIn. And we have some more questions. Then before we can wrap up, it's already been like 30 minutes. Okay. This is Anonymous. Anonymous is asking, hello, if a period of January 2021 is assessed in November 2023, and this assessment is said, and this to be paid before 31st December 2023, what happens to the interest arising from this assessment for the period July 2023 to 23? Because the interest from January to June would have been waived.
The key word is when are you paying and which period has a liability. Now, January 21 is in the scope.
Yes.
Part into the 2023 period.
Okay.
So, since it is within the scope of the waiver, what is required of you is to make a payment before 31st December 2023 lapses.
Okay.
That payment, you will get the waiver.
Okay. There you go, Anonymous. What happens to interest for periods where there's no principal? What happens to interest for periods where there's no principal? I think
we had answered that.
We went through this. I think some people are just joining in like now, but the recording. How can I utilize my credits to offset my liability? We went through that as well. This is for Bernard, who is different. Okay. Anonymous again from Zoom. I'm a taxpayer in Kisoro who does small welding business. I was registered with details of a motorcycle dealer in Barara, and I've always presented my true credentials to Kabale tax office. But the estimate that you assumed has never been waived off. Meanwhile, I annually pay my tax as I know from my earning. How far does it take? Okay, for you to clean a register after I've presented you the fact. How quickly does this reflect?
It's called Bernard?
No, this one is Anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay, Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Anonymous.
No.
One thing you have to do, once you are assessed by URA, there's a dealing with it, and the procedure is going through the objection. So what's required of you is to go and lodge an objection. It might be after the 45 days. We have of reject. Because normally assess will give you the 45 days. And they lapse. There's an opportunity of applying for extension to object. So I'm advising him through maybe his tax agent, or if he doesn't have one, still he can go back to the Kisoro office, ask them to take through the procedures of objecting to that liability.
Okay. Yeah.
And once he objects, he will go through that process, and that assessment will be removed since he has basis and evidence. Yes.
Okay.
To be handled.
To be handled. Okay. Anonymous attendee. Another anonymous. Hello. In case I paid a liability to my company in as a director, I think you did on this. Can I transfer the payment from my company team to my personal team as a director?
Yes, you can. I said we have it to apply correction and transfer under the payment screen. Right now, some taxpayers may not be having it, but by end of this week, everyone will have it. Everyone. So you go to that screen and you click on taxpayer to taxpayer. It means that mistake payment from the direct company. The company to the director. Still, yes, you select the option of taxpayer to tax. The application will come through to your
Okay, there. And Sevia again comes in with a question. When an agent withholds and declares VAT from, does the system auto read this credit? Because I realize I have many credits and yet they are not credit at VAT ledger.
Oh. Now, once the agent declares, files the return and they declare you, that automatically goes to you. The reason as why some of payers miss out, withhold from them, they fall up to the detail on the certificate, their TIN has been declared. In NICA, we have a ZRA as a TIN. Once the withholding agent does not declare TIN, you will miss out.
Okay.
Right now, we have made the TIN mandatory, but way back it was not mandatory. So go to your certificates you were given, look out the payee details, make sure your TIN was declared. If it was not declared, it's not the end of it all. Kindly contact us. Actually contact my unit. It can be through a letter.
Okay.
You write to manager debt management unit. You can send us an email. You can also raise the ticket on your research point. So we receive queries from different avenues.
Yeah.
So if you're one of the taxpayers who missed out on your credits because the withholding agent did not declare your TIN, kindly reach out and you'll be assisted.
Okay, okay, there you go. Wow, so there's Moses who's saying, Rachite tukoze Luganda. We shall do one. We want
We'll
to be
have
as
one.
inclusive as possible, so we'll do another one for Luganda for Moses and
some other taxpayers.
Yeah, many other
taxpayers.
All
languages.
Yeah, everyone has to be catered for. Okay. Okay. Desire. I think Desire Ruben will be our last one before we can call it a session. Desire is asking: is there a possibility of extending the deadline for the tax waiver payments?
That possibility is not going to be there. Reason being, this waiver came through a tax law. To have a law change is a very long procedure. Yes. It has to go back to the parliament. It has to be presented to the president. Long process, which we cannot assure you that we'll be able to pull. So in order not to miss out, anticipate the extension, because it has something to do with this all fit in within 31st December 2023.
Yes, true. Ruben still had 2 questions. Okay. In the new system, when payments are due, receive payment notification emails, especially for payments via mobile money.
Oh, yeah, that's a system glitch, because for some taxpayers, and from our side, actually, if my screen can be played. When you go under reports, we have notifications there, and I have notifications even for the look out for each and every period. And where you find a fancy, where you find starting, we have a team around which you can reach out either through point, or you can still call us or send an email. We help you out for any sort of. You can even physically visit us.
Yes, you can come.
You can visit us and we walk you through so that we sort that issue out.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go, Kenneth. I think your question has been ably responded to. Sent from the ICA has an outstanding of 794 million with 67 million in interest principal tax. How do I get the penalty and interest waived in the settlement?
That's for which period?
He didn't specify. Camille, if you could specify the period, then we'd guide you better. Okay, to our taxpayers, thank you for those questions. This has been a good session. I'm sure you're benefiting and also benefiting from your feedback. Take it for granted, so thank you. This more questions from Twitter because we haven't had the side of life. Okay. Okay. Ian Tayewa is saying, hello, how can I gain access to IFRIC and its documentation for integration purposes? Okay, we'll handle that in an IFRIC webinar. We always have those. So Ian, just hold on to that. I'm seeing out, okay, then there is Fidel. Fidel is saying, I'm seeing outstanding liability and unutilized credit. Please explain.
Okay, as I am going to echo this,
And this is our last one.
when the law changed in July 2021,